Hey guys, Troy here. I have the all-new Osmo Pocket by DJI and the Sony RX100 Mark V out on the table, and we're going to be putting these two cameras head-to-head today. I'm going to be focusing mostly on quality in this video and not so much about price or which one of these are easier to hold. So these two cameras are a perfect choice for anyone who has a YouTube channel and is looking to upgrade their video quality. It's also for someone looking to add a second camera to their assortment, and for someone who wants to record family moments to share on social media. As you're watching this video, I want you to think about this question. Do you want to capture content or create it? Battery is shorter on the RX100. I get about 30 minutes of record time before the battery dies. It's important to get extra batteries with this one. Osmo is good for a little over 2 hours, but expect about half that if it's connected to your phone, because it's going to use its battery to charge your phone. Osmo obviously has a big advantage with the gimbal mounted camera. It's meant to be handheld at all times, so there's no tripod mount at the bottom. One thing to note, when you're vlogging and your arm is extended out, it's natural for your hand to shake a few millimeters, so Osmo's gimbal only corrects on the rolling axis, not on the directional axis, so it can't actually correct for this few millimeters of shake from your hands. So there are times where you look like you're just jumping around on screen. Other than that though, it's amazing. The Sony does have a mount at the bottom, although walking with a tripod yields little improvement. When taking pictures or B-roll, using the Sony on a tripod can in many cases give smoother video than Osmo. An advantage for Sony is the zoom lens. The model I have is a Mark V and it does 24 to 70mm zoom. If you go with the Mark VI, that increases all the way to 200mm of zoom. As we talk about these two, know that the Sony does have extra capabilities when framing a shot because of the zoom lens. On the surface, Osmo is a 1x2/3 sensor and the Sony is a larger 1-inch sensor, so it should yield better all-around results. But as smartphones become more common for taking pictures, smaller sensors have been improving, so they aren't that far off from each other. Both cameras can take a wide variety of 1080 and 4K at various frame rates. Both have auto and manual modes, but Osmo does need to be connected to a phone to use its manual control. The Sony is sharp across all frame rates, and those with more cinematography experience will appreciate the S-Log2 picture profile. If you're not familiar with that, what it means is you can take pictures and videos with more detail in the shadows and in the highlights. And you also get more flexibility in post-editing. The trade-off being that, post-editing. It needs a lot of post-editing, but of course that's only if you're recording using a picture profile. The 1080p video on Osmo looks great if you can get the shutter to align with the recording frame rate. When it's bright out, the shutter will be very quick. 500th of a second and 1,000th of a second are speeds I see all the time with mine. Normally video like this can look choppy, but DJI has resampling, and this adds artificial motion blur, which looks poor, honestly. The post-processing is less, maybe even not at all, when recording in 4K. Osmo reportedly will have a log picture profile similar to the Sony available through the app, but it is currently unavailable, and there is no timeline for its release as of January 2019. When filming a YouTube video, it makes sense to turn your camera to photo mode and take some still images to later process into the video's thumbnail. These two cameras can do that more than proficiently. The advantage may be in the Sony's favor, however, because of the larger megapixel sensor. The sound on these cameras is okay. Both of them have dual microphone setups. The Sony is used for right and left audio, whereas the Osmo use those microphones together to help block out background noise. Now both of them have a wind reduction feature, so that does clear up the audio a little bit, but I find that leaves unwanted artifacts in the audio. They both would benefit from having an external microphone. There is an accessory available to do this with Osmo, none for the Sony. Osmo's microphones are placed near the record button and USB port. I often find myself with my thumb and index finger covering both, so be careful how you hold it. The way I see these two is the RX100 allows you to create content, whereas the Osmo Pocket captures content. Two different things. Of course, with the Sony you can record crystal clear video and upload it right to YouTube, or take breathtaking photos and send them straight to Instagram. But if you're becoming interested in photography or videography, the Sony will pull you into that creation experience. By learning the impact of shutter speed, color grading, and Photoshop, the Sony can create content. The Osmo's appeal is in its convenience and simplicity. DJI has created something that doesn't need anything extra to record smooth video and stunning photos. The Sony offers a broader spectrum of uses which allows users to create a visual experience. The Osmo is a bit narrower in application, which allows it to focus on capturing a visual experience. Now if you've made it to this part of the video, you might realize that comparing any camera to Osmo is going to yield the same conclusion. Do you want to create content or capture it? So thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'll put a link in the description to where you can purchase these. Also, if you want to see my full review of Osmo, click here on the screen and click down here to subscribe.